Hello, hello, and welcome to the Foolish Tech Show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, food, we're live.
Just now we are.
You're like, hello, and I'm like, oh, how's it going? Happy Turkey Day. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Oh no, you're fine. Continue. Are you eating your turkey right there?
I'm eating peanuts, man.
That's close enough. That's more than likely what they ate. Although I have to imagine there's like a ton of turkeys running around prior.
So what's happening?
Not much. I was talking with FilthX earlier, and looks like he's got a link about a guy starting up ScreenConnect with a Windows PE CD.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at that link now. I'll throw it back in the chat for anybody that wants to read it. Aussie Glenn is in the chat. It's a good name. I prefer Undertaker.
I do too, actually.
Hey, I hear Michael.
Yep, I'm here. I want to thank the Aussie that purchased from us this morning, I believe, or earlier today at some point in time, at least our time. Thank you for that. I believe it was a CP bulk purchase. If you're listening, we appreciate all your business. And we know you guys aren't celebrating the same holidays we do.
Well, that is a lot of detailed instructions. I'm not going to go through all that stuff again. But I'll post that SpiceWorks. And I reposted that ScreenConnect thing in the public chat.
Oh.
Aussie Glenn left now.
Oh, great. Is it because of what I said? I hope not.
Yeah, because you were talking to some other Australian. You know, they don't like that.
Well, no, I'm just... It's just... Okay. My apologies.
Those Australians don't like acknowledging that there's other Australians out there.
So the Raspberry Pi Foundation released the Pi Zero, which is $5. So if guys, if cost was prevented you from getting into the Raspberry Pi front, I think they've found a point that I think can appeal to most anyone.
What was that about the Raspberry Pi?
I was saying that the Raspberry Pi Foundation unveiled the Pi Zero. This brings the price point of the Raspberry Pi down to $5 now. It basically includes first-gen Pi chip, but it's able to be overclocked to gigahertz. So you got a gigahertz chip and 512 mega RAM, effectively. But that price point is huge, considering there was a highly anticipated $9 one called the Chip CHIP, which is going on sale for the public. But it looks like this might steal its thunder.
I don't know, that pocket chip did look pretty cool.
It
That,
did.
that's going on sale soon too, isn't it?
And so you're asking how they do this. It looks like that they have an empty GPIO header that's going to be required. You're going to populate it with connectors effectively, so or solder them and buy them yourself. I guess Radio Shack still works for that stuff. Yeah, it might just be cheaper for you to go the regular route. People out there, $5. It's cutting too many corners, I think. And
Here's a
yes,
link
we are up
to the-
today. I know Brantley isn't communicating too well, or is just kind of going long
What?
periods without talking. So, but we're here. We're certainly here.
Can you not hear me?
I can. You don't seem to be keeping up with things. I don't know. It's like, are you on a lag? Are you on some sort of time delay or something?
No one can keep up with you, Michael.
Oh.
Yeah, that too. I think it is more that I just can't keep up with Michael.
Very much.
No, I was looking. I'm going out and looking for links of all these things that you're talking about. You're just talking about them.
Oh,
I posted
yeah.
the in
Did you find the Pi 01? I'll see if I can find a link to that.
Pi Zero, the $5 computer.
Yeah. So, but look, you're gonna need to solder your own ports onto it to connect it to video and stuff. Well, I guess it depends on what type of video you want. But what kind of connector does it actually have? What is that port? No. It does have an HDMI port, so yeah. You can connect it out the gate, and you do have USB. It's just nothing on the GPIO header.
Yeah, I was about to say, looking at it, it looks like it's got an SD card reader, a port.
Yeah, it's not that bad, actually. I mean, the only person I was complaining about was trying to build something that could connect to a TV and or CRT, or an old school CRT, and apparently he needed to solder something for that. But I mean, you could get your computing done. Most modern people could connect to HDMI and USB. Granted, they're mini ports, but and you got storage and processing power and RAM. So
Most modern people.
yeah.
Oh, they do give you the pins to actually solder them on there. That's funny.
You see
That does
creepy
look
glove?
cool, though. $5 for a computer. What will they think of next? So I have my Raspberry Pi working as my SSH tunnel and my Bitcoin miner.
I hardly think it's able to produce enough power. It does not do well at mining, right? I mean, it can't.
But it does. It runs the miner that controls the AntMiner that I have.
Oh,
The AntMiner U3.
it's feeding something else. Oh, I gotcha.
So at least I'm saving on power in that route.
Yeah, that's a good solution. Yeah.
I don't have to keep my computer on 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good idea. That's actually a good route. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I do have to keep my computer on to keep my video card spinning for what I do as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I was laughing because I keep my computer on 24 hours anyway. But since that one's Linux and that one's Windows 10, I don't have to worry about my restarting itself because of updates. Because my system sure did restart itself, even though I've told it not to. several different ways. Oh, that's right. I didn't change the. Dang it. Always one
Sorry.
thing off. Sorry, Glenn. You've been watching the Thursday show. Or the Wednesday show.
Mm-hmm. Hey, like point to the. We're doing something there.
Yeah, I'm going to go over the bit mining stuff, but
Oh,
I'm going to rush into it.
oh.
Unless you had something else you wanted to go over.
Mm.
Hold on, I have to set up the live show page. To fill the air some other way. Michael, what did you do today?
I ate dinner with my family at my brother's house and chatted. I finished watching a movie that I had started last night, and I played with doggies, and I
What movie?
oh, I just finished watching Ant-Man. It wasn't that good.
I had that, but I did not watch
Marvel
it.
Flair. It did a preview of the Captain America movie you were talking about. The new one, I guess, assuming.
The Civil War or whatever?
Yeah. And there were two sneaks at the end, and so halfway through the credits, there's one sneak peek, and then at the end of the credits, there's another one. So I guess I don't know what the advantage to them keeping you in the theater those extra several minutes watching credits is, but yeah.
Not many people stay after the movie either. Is the second one better?
Well, the second one is the plug for the next Captain America. The first one is just the plug for his sidekick, the girl in the butterfly, or I don't know, whatever fucking outfit she's got.
Oh, so the second one was better. So the people that stayed got something better.
Probably, yes, I guess. I would have considered it to be a little bit better too, because I could care less about her. But I mean, unless she gets her own spinoff, but yeah, I don't really think Paul Rudd's gonna be coming back. Maybe he will, but yeah.
All right, live show page. There we go. All right. So I just had a little bit on bit mining to go over because I really haven't gotten into it that much. Michael, you had said you had done it before in the past. Do you have anything that you want to explain about it before from olden times?
For Bitcoin mining?
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, no, I didn't. I mean, I never really, I've explored it a little bit, but I've never mined coins. You probably have more experience at it than I do. I briefly looked into it when the GPU days were hot, but I mean, I think that's so far gone now that I think, yeah, I mean, there were times in the past where you could leverage a relatively unused component like a general purpose GPU to accelerate those types of things. But with these fixed function devices and with these cheaper field programmable gate arrays and things of that nature, they've been able to develop dedicated hardware to the purpose, and it far exceeds what you would spend on even a cheap video card. So at a better price point even. So I don't think it's worthwhile to talk about the past so much as where the future holds, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about the ASCII device that you're using. It's if there's alternatives to it out there, and why maybe a little bit more detail why you think that running it on the Pi is saving. I mean, it obviously will save you power if you have to have something feeding it, but I would have thought that the ASCII unit could be fed by itself. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, what, Michael?
Doesn't make any sense. So, Michael, you didn't, or you just said that you had gotten a bunch of bitcoins and that you like hacked other people's wallets and stole their bitcoins.
When did I say that?
You said that on air.
No, you didn't say that on the air, but you said that last year.
I think I was lying. If I actually said that,
you were lying, but
yeah, you said you used to be a big hacker, and that's how you used to make money. Is you would hack into. You wouldn't play around with just mining bitcoins. You would let other people mine them, and then you'd hack into their accounts and steal their.
Okay, that was just a drunken rant, or just something I don't know what I was thinking, or I did not have never committed theft from anyone, electronically or otherwise. So
theft. Anyway.
Are we just?
Well,
can we just talk about the things he's claimed in the past? Because I can think of a couple we could talk about.
Let's talk about those.
I'm gonna leave if you guys are gonna do that.
Oh, we don't need you here to talk about them.
Well, no, I know you don't, but
just you'll be fine.
All right. So I have a couple of the places here. I guess we'll start off with what I went out and got. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, Bitcoin mining is essentially how you verify transactions and create new Bitcoins. And Bitcoins are basically virtual currency, virtual encrypted currency, to be exact, actually. But basically, it is just like having dollars or yens or pounds or euros. It's just another currency, but it was created all digitally and only like a few years ago, 2011, 2010. Is that when it came out, I think?
I think it was there. I think it was thought out by that Nobel laureate guy. Or no, he didn't win the Nobel Prize. That's right, but he was at least nominated for it. But I think he did this paper maybe a little bit before that. But he might generally have the right time frame. I'm not sure. It was fairly recent, but
Isn't that every day?
Aussie Glenn says, "Is this pick on Michael Day?" And then Johnny said, "Isn't that every day?"
For the most part.
Yeah. All right. So this is the one I got. It has gone up in price, I think, since I saw it. Okay. Multiple desktops. But basically, that's like one of your cheap ASCII miners, you're really not going to get a lot of. You're not even going to be able to turn a profit with that one, especially with it having gone up another $30 since I bought it. But basically, it kind of gets you into the area. You can see how much power it's going to take to mine Bitcoins and what you need to get set up and get you familiar with the software to work with for it. And it's just interesting to play around in. And basically all that is a USB device. It's got a big fan on it because it gets extremely hot, and I'm able to overclock it. I actually have to overclock it to get to that 60 to 63 gigahashes per second that it claims there. I've only been running it at about 60 gigahashes per second. To turn a profit, it was looking like you had to have at least terahash or more. And turning a profit means that you have to include things like how much it's costing you in power to run that, because it does cost quite a bit in power. I think my kilowatt went up from 165 with my computer and everything running on it to 445 adding that Bitminer on it. So
Wow!
God.
yeah, it costs over twice as much to run that Bitminer. So that is quite expensive.
Wow!
I look up a calculator. So you
Yeah,
can look at
there are lots of power calculators now because of all the the increased screen movement and the more global warming and all that stuff, which is nice. You can get some of these figures, for power supplies and for other things to determine what your usage is going to be, because it's increasing. People don't consider it. It's despite everything shrinking, the power consumption is still generally increasing.
Yep. And that's why I was telling Michael, like, I think at some point it's going to end up not being profitable to mine Bitcoins because of the power purpose for it.
I don't see that being the case. I believe it's just like anything else. If you have enough money to invest in it, you can turn a profit in it, but it's only going to be at a very high entry point, so that, and the casual Bitcoin miner is not going to be able to ever produce a reasonable profit.
You're saying like having a good investment, but like I'm talking about you'd have to have a good enough investment. Like I was saying, you'd have to have a good enough investment to like buy your own river dam.
Well, yeah. In other words, yes. In other words, the entry fee to all these things is tens or hundreds of millions of dollars potentially.
How many privately owned dams are out there?
Yeah, this is.
Did you just whip a figure for a dam out of your head, Michael?
I don't know. I didn't base that off anything. Just a fucking dumb guess.
Okay.
So don't ever hold me to that. But I'm just saying that this is a high, but it's higher. It's in millions. So it's how many people have millions and millions and millions and millions of credit at their disposal.
State levels,
Banks.
and that's to buy and maintain the dam. Then you have to buy the hardware to use all of that power. It's like you're never. I mean, there's no way that there's going to be an investment point. There's going to be a point at which that investment point is not worth the investment. Like you wouldn't end up making a profit off of it in under 5 years or something like that. And there's no reason to invest $20 million in something you're not going to make a profit on in 5 years. And even then, after 5 years, the difficulty is going to go up even further, so it'll be even less worth it.
Listen, I think most people found that guy's algorithm was pretty sound. If it can't be done with his, I'm not so sure. Unless another prodigy economist comes along, I don't think.
I mean, it may end up being profitable still, but it's currently there's still a way to profit off of it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't actually see that changing. Again, I think it's directly tied more or less to Moore's law, and most people
I
think that
forgot what my camera was.
they're capable to extend that to the indefinite future. So.
Sweet tarts, man.
This is something else I found. Is this the one? Is this mine? Yep. So this is another option you have if you don't want to buy the hardware. You can do what's called a coin mining contract, I think. And basically what you do is you buy it's kind of like buying a virtual private server somewhere. So you're like buying your hardware somewhere else and then using that. Basically, you end up paying under the amount that comes for the actual hardware. So like if I went out and bought that same priced hardware or same hash size hardware, I'd end up getting it cheaper than I could buy the actual hardware, but it's in somebody else's data center. I have to trust them to actually do it right and let me have access to it and stay in business. And also they end up charging maintenance fees for power consumption of that device. So there's a lot of things to take into account as far as being able to turn a profit with it. And PhilTheX, yeah, I did see that link. I opened it up. I looked a little bit through it, but didn't get too much into it because it was a lot of reading. But essentially, it just looks like he took the unattended version of ScreenConnect and had it set to auto run on startup if it's WinPE. But he was using a Windows 7 PE disk. Windows 10 PE disk. I think Windows 8 is the one that Nick has on his blog. And you can edit that one about the same. So, there are some other things in Bitcoin mining that I learned about getting set up. And the two things are pool mining and having a wallet. So Bitcoins being a virtual currency aren't like having a physical wallet you can put it in, and you have to have somewhere that you can send it and somewhere to send out from. And with Bitcoin wallets, like basically you get a virtual address, and then that's what's used to be able to send your money back and forth from. And there's a link for some various Bitcoin wallets that you can use. This page has a really good overview of different Bitcoin wallets that you can use versus mobile, desktop, hardware, or web-based ones. Web-based ones are not recommended at all. I ended up going with a phone-based one because it had the most features that I liked the looks of.
Yeah, there is. Listen, there is a lot of fraud. There's a lot of fraud in everything, even traditional financial markets. But certainly in the Bitcoin realm, there's even more. So the research that you need to do, finding an exchange to use to get your actual currency from the Bitcoins that you generate, and the wallets that you use, are critical that you find a reliable vendor for these things. Right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I am by no means the person to get advice from on that because I'm just starting out and have no idea about the reputation of some of these people.
Yeah, I don't either, and that was frankly the biggest thing getting me back from going back into researching it. When it exploded a number of years ago, I was following it very closely, but I just had some issues with trust in it, and I don't know if anybody out there can recommend something, but particularly when I've seen its, the devaluation of it, and its rapid gain back, and just it seems to be a little bit too volatile for my taste. But I know people do this, and I would love to hear from the community if guys have found if there have been solutions to these problems, and what those solutions are, and how they specifically overcome the concerns that I have.
One Bitcoin has been worth about $350 for about the past 6 months or so.
Now that's stable, but there was a time where it was over $1,000.
Yeah, that was when it was being actually picked up on, and people found out about it and started trying to use it.
Well, so does this 6-month stint at stability indicate that that's what we're going to see moving forward? Maybe some of these issues have been resolved then. Maybe it isn't fluctuating as much.
I mean, a lot of people have been, it's becoming more of a stable source. You can pay for things in Bitcoin.
I do know a lot of bigger
Fairly
players have entered the market. Everybody, Facebook is behind it, I think, and other people. So
it has the most backing out of all the virtual currencies that I've seen.
Yeah, and it is just to throw it out there, not to focus on this or anything, but it is possible for anybody out there to create their own unique cryptocurrency and throw it out there. But that's something that only you and your close circle of friends that use it, that's not going to allow it to flourish in the market. But you can do that. Somebody wrote a paper.
I mean, you can just as well as anyone can create their own minted coin currency.
No, I mean they have sort of like frameworks, like malware frameworks. You know what I mean? They have things that will produce you the coins. All you have to do is just randomly change a couple of values, and effectively you have your own cryptocurrency at that point. It's not difficult to do, but you want there needs to be some trust built around it, because
awesome. Well, to get it started, I'm going to make one, and that's what your paycheck's going to be in.
No, absolutely not.
You're gonna have to find a trustworthy exchange person.
Oh, no, hell no.
Which, since it's my coin, it'll be going through me.
No. Yeah, you guys want to be very wary of getting employed by someone who will only pay you in some alternative, and they probably won't even do it in Bitcoin. It'll probably be their own currency that they create. Don't do that. It's not.
I'm gonna pay you in Lego coins. These are worth a lot.
Yeah.
In the right hands.
Yeah. Flexibility of exchanging your currency for goods and services is key to the value of your currency.
All right. So where's my other stuff on this mining? So I have a page that goes through on how to set up CG Miner, which is one of the most popular.
Oh yeah, that was popular when I looked at it years ago. Yeah, CG Miner was the one that everyone was using back then. Apparently it's held its ground.
Yeah, and you can set that up on the Raspberry Pi. This article is meant for actually the AntMiner and overclocking it, but it gives you the basic steps on setting up CG Miner on your Raspberry Pi, so you can use that to manage your ASCII miner. That U3 one is a nice one to get started on. Like I said, you can see the basics of how it works and understand how things go. Get your wallet set up and join a mining pool and see what you get back from that mining pool based on how many gigahashes you get. Then you can look into other options like getting a bigger, better miner system, and there are some there that I want to show off real quick here. I'm gonna play around with mine for a month or so before I decide if I want to invest further in it any. And that's mainly so I can see what the power bill comes back like.
So, Brantley, can you confirm that? Yeah, that the November update. Did Microsoft actually pull that?
There are sayings that they pulled it, and then there are sayings that they brought it back, and then there are sayings that it never got pulled. It just didn't go out to everybody because they're only pushing it out for like certain, like they're rolling it out. They didn't just push it out to everyone.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting conflicting reports of it, but I'm lucky I got the correct tool, the media tool for it, and I would hold on to it. As far as I know, there are not plans to change it. So, but that's weird. Are those reports of their problems with it? Are those exaggerated or overblown, or are they real? Or
I think so. I've updated it on 4 or 5 systems now, and I haven't had a problem with it.
yeah, I haven't either. So yeah.
So those are some of the ones that I threw out there, and you can see there's a major price difference. That first link I posted was S5.
Hey!
1.155
Sorry, wait, hang on.
gigahashes or terahashes.
Testies.
That's 575. What are you yang, Nick?
I have a link. Gosh, I can't get to the RSA. Hang on a second. But I have a link to the media creation tool for this latest build of Windows that they yanked. That Michael was just going, hope you've got it, save it. I have a link to it, right from Microsoft server. Yeah, here, let me give it to you because I have an RC issue. Let me give it to you and you put it in the thing.
Great, thank you.
There you go. Put that in the thing.
Is that for the home version or the pro version?
That is for the media creation tool.
Yeah, the media creation tool that has the November update, and if you just use that and download it, that'll get you the right one. That's what I did. So, cool. Thanks for that link, man. I posted it. So,
well, the media creation tool you have to pick if you want the home version or the pro version when you download
Not
the
this
media
one.
creation tool.
No, you could. No, this also will do. It should also do both 32 and 64 as you choose to select it. Yeah.
Well, I know that they'll do both the 32 and 64, but the ones that I've downloaded from Microsoft, you have to pick if you're getting the media creation tool for.
I have to do that.
Well, if you test it and find otherwise, then okay, but otherwise, then yes, it does.
Okay. Yeah, Aussie's agreeing with us. Oh, okay.
All right, so back on the pricing of those things, 1.1 terahash is about where you're going to start being able to turn a profit, and that's $575 to purchase. The second link I posted was for an S7, which is about 4.86 terahashes, and that is $2,600. And then they go up in price from there. And the thing to remember about those is the more hashes it produces per second, the more power it's going to cost to run, and the more heat it's going to generate. This one goes up to 7.2 terahashes per second.
And what are the price range? The last one you sent was several $1,000s. What the hell is this one?
$3,200.
Oh, this is much more economical.
It is. But you have to determine if that wattage per gigahash is at a good point. Like that 7.2 terahash is 45 cents per watt per gigahash, and the 4.81 is 0.25 watt per gigahash. So
Well, that's
where you have to keep in mind. Proctor was mentioning that he had his friend doing it, and he had a few of the 4.6 ones, and they were loud enough to make you think there was a train outside, and produced enough heat that they did not have to use the heater during the winter.
yes. So some of those sound like drawbacks to me.
Yeah. So it's definitely not something you can just jump into and start raking in free money from. The initial investment in the hardware is something you have to be able to pay back for, and then the investment in electricity is something you have to maintain paying back for. But Michael and I had talked about doing solar power for it, which that's a good option.
Oh, did you mention Texas?
No, but the solar power option is a good option. But even with solar power, like getting a solar power setup that pays, that pays off itself in your house.
Whoa, can you repeat that? You broke up there a little bit.
You broke up there.
That was not me.
That was you.
Neither of you were breaking up. Someone was making a lot of microphone noise. Hey, Tank, how's it going? He just came in.
Yeah. Tank was the one making all the microphone noise.
Oh, shit.
So you did break up, Michael.
Okay.
You also. Except for Tank. Hey, Tank, how's it going? Tank?
Hey, Tank, can you hear us? Tank?
He must be having testicle difficulties.
What did you just say?
That was good. That was good. Weird. Yeah, so there are a lot of things to think of there. The last thing I was going to touch on with these is the mining pool, and just show off the one that I joined. There's a ton of different mining pools you can join, and basically this is where everybody combines their mining power. And what you can do there is you have more of a chance of finding a coin quicker, and because of that you can get paid off from it quicker, and everyone shares in the profits together. So it's kind of a nice way to do things, and it could be profitable that way. You just have to, again, be able to trust who you're signing up with your pool for. I have no trust in these people, but so far I've made 18 cents off of it. It's Bitminer.
I considered actually starting a pool.
Do what?
A long time ago, I considered starting a pool amongst us, the customers and us. A long time ago when I was looking into that junk, and then I was like, I forgot about it somehow.
Bitcoin? You wanted to start a Bitcoin mining pool?
I was looking into it, yes.
That's interesting. Did you find out what you needed to get it set up? Because I don't know what's in the background of all that.
Oh, absolutely no clue whatsoever.
Thank you for the input.
No, I was researching it at some point, and I was like, oh, this looks fun.
Yeah.
And and like, but what you were just saying about the trust relationship, I was just that was the big hurdle that I saw with doing it, and the first unhurdle I thought of was the relationship between us and the customers. They're already trusting us, with the product and paying us for that. So I mean, they would trust us for I would assume, I would hope. Well, it would be voluntary, of course, but
Yeah.
But
anyone that would like to get in on our Bitcoin mining
yeah.
operation, let us know. We'll start a pool together. We'll
Yeah.
just go ahead and throw it out there, see what kind of response we get back.
Big pool. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Tank!
Hey, Tank. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey.
What was wrong with your microphone?
Is my microphone?
Well, we said, hey, Tank, and you didn't say anything.
I said hey. Did y'all not hear me?
Nope. So there was.
Oh, here, let me go at it again.
Like,
hey!
You mean like just now or like a while back? Like, cause
When I first got on, I was having some audio issues. I had everything switched to the wrong stuffs.
That's what it was.
And I had to reset it. I had to unplug the headset and plug it back in to make it work right.
Man.
Happens, man.
Weird. Michael said he had an issue like that, or something about channels or something the other day.
Yeah, Michael's been having channel issues with his. Proctor's been having charging.
I haven't had the problem since I switched the channel. So, and Proctor's issue was just he didn't freaking put the thing on right. He needs to get that blue light on. I mean, we've known about that issue.
I know. It's like it's
issue so much as
it's like if you just don't pay attention when you're putting it on the charger.
Because it'll sit on there just fine and
Yeah.
not make good contact.
Yeah.
I've had that happen a time.
When it does make contact, it really clicks in there, but you've got to, like you kind of got to jiggle it just to make sure it's in there when you put it on. There's a little
just
motion.
Look for the light. Look for the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. I think.
That is what it's there for. Except the problem is that you want the lights right here, and the problem is that when you put it on the stand, you want the mic to be up.
Yeah. And I
So
almost always, when I
it's
go
blocking the light always, because I have the thing angled towards me, and I'm so anal. I have to put the thing up, and then I can't see the light.
well, normally when I go to take mine off, I go ahead and grab the mic and put it up when I'm taking the headset off my head. So yeah, I know.
My headsets don't have any problems.
Other than the quality of the audio.
It's perfect.
Now, I had mine set on external speakers, and I've had the issue of if I'm going to use the headset, but I don't switch it from external speakers to the headset speakers, or from the computer speakers to the headset speakers before I take it off the stand, it doesn't want to switch back unless I unplug it, plug it back in, or close out everything and reopen them.
Huh. Yeah. I had a problem once where I had a problem twice. Once when I was coming back from the mailbox, and once when I was just outside, and it like switched off somehow, and I could hear people, but they couldn't hear me, and I couldn't figure it out until I came back upstairs and hit the button.
Yeah.
On the thingy, on the receiver, to do whatever the button does, and then it worked again. But I was outside. I was like one time I was at the mailbox. I mean, my receiver's in my room at the top of the house, and outside's at the bottom of the house, and down at the mailbox is at the bottom of the hill. So, but Michael was talking about having issues, but he was talking about it being some interference, maybe.
I haven't had that.
Yeah, because Michael has his router right on top of him.
I'll sit right next to my router. I'm 2 feet away from it. Matter of fact, the receiver for the headset's less than a foot away from the router.
But your router's dying, isn't it?
True.
It's almost dead.
I don't know what actual frequency and band these things use. What is it? It's DECT or DECT6, the cell phone technology, not the cellular in-home phone, not You know what? Cordless phone technology. Yes.
Yeah,
Cordless
that's-
phone technology. Cordless.
That's
phone.
usually 2.4 gigahertz,
Yeah.
which is what wireless.
Well, it usually is, but DECT6 is. They have different things too. You know, like the not. They were 2.4 a long time ago. Way before.
DET, what?
DEC DE. Oh fuck! I'll look. DECT6.
I don't know.
Uh, uh, hmm. Oh. Oh, okay. 1920 to 1930 megahertz in the United States and Canada. All right.
Yeah, I was about to say it's at the 1.9 gigahertz.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's below all that on the band.
Yeah, I know my headset's in the 2.4 gigahertz.
Well, does Michael have an actual cordless phone around his house that's running that? Maybe.
I don't have a cord. I don't have any phones in my house.
Oh, okay. Just
You have
checking,
a
man.
corded phone in your house.
Yeah, I think we've asked that before, like, cause I don't know, but it's entirely possible your mom's. I mean, like his mom's house is like right next door. It's entirely possible, like your neighbor's phone as close as you are to them. I mean, with the range these things have.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
wrong, because I remember the last house phone I did have was a
Be fine.
2.4 gigahertz, and I used to get interference from random people around the neighborhood. I could randomly hear them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Or
pretty
not around
cool.
the neighborhood, but people. I think I lived in an apartment complex, and I could hear other people talking. Sometimes I'd pick up on them.
I was about to say Tank's like walking down the street just holding his cordless phone out.
Hey, man, it was the 90s. We did things. It was in case one of my 2 pagers went off. No, I only had one.
Filth X, it seems like you're having a lot of connection issues staying connected to the IRC. That may be related to the FTP issues we were seeing earlier. I know the IRC one's isn't the IRC one on the same Amazon network?
What? What?
Is the Foolish Tech server on the same Amazon network as the dCloud server?
No, not even close.
Is the Foolish Tech one on the West Coast?
No, it's Virginia. I think.
Where's
Why are we
the
talking
dCloud
about
one?
those?
Because
Not there, and not even on the same service. And not even on the same account.
Because Filth X was having
And not
issues
like
staying
in a one that I haven't even looked at in such a long time that I don't even know what it's on, but it's on the old account and it's in a different region.
Because I was trying to find a server that was the same area to see if he was getting ping timeouts, but I mean, from what I'm seeing with him staying connected to the IRC, it looks like he is having issues staying connected to places. So that would possibly be why I was seeing him not staying connected, and he was getting those weird issues with decloud. How internet things work. It's weird. But that's pretty much all I had on the Bitcoin mining thing. So far I've made 18 cents. And that's not having made 18 cents. That's just all I've made off of it. I haven't made 18 cents over what I've put into it. So.
So you're ready to buy the diamond rings, right? You're ready to buy the gems and the rockets and the planes and the
Well,
ships.
it's been running for 2 days, and
I found more money in mine.
That's a sustainable form of money.
And you too can make 18 cents every 2 days.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting. It would be interesting if, like, D72 and Idle Technician Time did that for. I am not.
It wouldn't have the processing power to do that.
Oh, I mean, no. I mean, to do what?
Like, you can't. You have to have a hardware based. That's an ASCII miner. That's like.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. I was just talking about if it would be fun if there was a way to crowdsource all of the copies that were running out there all the time and they were idle.
Yeah, you could do it for like SETI crunching.
Yeah.
You could
I'm
crunch
not
SETI
interested in
minutes.
SETI crunching. No.
That's $32.85 a year that I'll make if I keep at this rate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's not going to pay for the power nor the hardware even. So you do have to get a lot more hash power. Like I said, I think it's the terahash point that you're able to turn a profit, and that's looking at $500 to invest in. But that's a big difference between I'm doing 60 gigahashes versus 1 terahash per second. So if I did make that investment, it could be worth it. But it was pretty simple to set up and get started, and the biggest thing, like Michael said, is the trust factor. So we'll see how the trusting goes and if it's worth investing in more. It really would have been better to start off years ago when you could do it off just your computer even. But missed that boat. Where did Michael go?
I'm here. I'm just listening.
Buy a Bitminer.
Michael's being all quiet now.
Well, there's first time for
said you went to
everything.
buy a Bitminer.
I'm hanging on your every word there, bud.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that is kind of creepy.
Oh, jeez. I can't say anything right.
Why you gotta be so creepy?
You are creepy. You're one creepy dude.
One guy on this pool has 563,000 gigahertz per second. I have 60. Like, how much power and investment did he have to do? Like, even for that 8 one. You'd have to have 70 of those S5 pluses running at 8 gigahash terahashes per second. Jeez. That's a lot. And those 70 each cost him $3,000 a piece. $210,000 worth of investment in just the hardware alone.
Ow.
Yeah, so it's still under the $1 million price range, Michael. You still have time to invest.
Oh yeah, great. That's it, huh? What is going on in the chat with you okay, Philtax? You got bad internet down there?
Yeah, that's what it was looking like. Keeps getting disconnected.
Where is that $1 million link that you sent? Did you put one up?
No, that pool that I posted that I'm in, the bitminer.com.
Minter?
Bitminter, yeah, whatever. If you look at the statistics page on that, the live statistics, you can see the fastest users, and BitVest 4 has 548 terahashes per second. And he's the number one.
There's this one
That
that's
would have
confirmed at 3.37 quadrillion hashes per second. Oh my gosh.
What's a quadrillion hash?
A thousand trillion.
What's 1,000 trillion?
A quadrillion?
Put it in giga or tera or petra or...
So it's peta, I guess. Peta.
Would that be peta? I'm asking.
Yeah, I think so. Peta. Yeah, a peta is a quadrillion. Yes.
And how many of those does he have?
3.38.
Oh my.
Petahashes per second. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
How much does
the
that
guy
cost?
that's currently in the lead. Oh no! There's that. Oh Jesus, no! There's people with 3.6. 3.6 of those. So 3.6 is about the top.
I bet those are people that...
Pedophile.
What? Johnny's Google voicing pedophile because apparently she doesn't know how to spell it, let alone why she's using it in a sentence.
I don't know how to spell it.
EEDOPHILE.
Michael knows how to spell it right off the tip
Obviously.
of his lip.
Michael is one.
Oh, wait a second. Now I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's. I bet those the people
that is the spelling of it.
Excellent work, Michael. I bet the people that have petahashes are the ones that do that contract coin mining. So like they offer out use of their hardware to other people to mine with. So I can't see it would be sustainable to run that much at all. Like, those are people that have to have a dam. Their own.
A dam.
Their own hydropower station. All right. So, Michael, when are you going to invest on that? Hash.
I'm not attempting. I mean, these are.
Post that link where you're seeing that.
It was on the same one that you had. It was just I just did the totals or something. The best, not the live stats. You were doing the live stats. I was just looking at the overall stats.
The totals where?
Let me see. Close the tab. Let me get it back. Oh, wrong tab. That's not the one I want.
Yeah, where you start? There's only live stats. Let's see where you
And
saw totals.
Bitminer blocks or something like that. What did I search for?
Blocks?
Statistics, I guess blocks income. Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Oh, that's not hashes. That's not people with that many hashes.
Total terahashes per second, it says.
That's for how many hashes are in the pool. It's not that person is that many.
Okay, well, that whole pool is doing quite a bit.
Yeah, that's how many. If you look at the very top of the page, you'll even see the 3, 4, 5, 6 terahashes per second. That's how fast the entire pool is computing the next block. If you look at the live stats, you can see the breakdown of the people in the pool that make up that.
Okay, well, whatever.
The fastest users. And it looks like the majority of people have between 8 terahashes and 100 terahashes, or 100 hashes, gigahashes.
Okay.
I have 75 on my ranking right now, and I'm 796.
By the way, guys, the free Pascal compiler 3.0 is out. It's adding support for 16-bit MS-DOS as well as 64-bit iOS, covering both ends of the spectrum there. And it's for...
Are you compiling Pascal right now?
I started. My very first language I programmed in was Pascal.
And you just couldn't stay away from keeping up
And it
with it?
supports OS 2. It supports OS 2 as well. Huh? What's that?
You just have to stay up to date on it going
Yes.
forward?
Yes, I do. If anybody wants to...
What's OS 2 used for?
What's OS 2 used for? Well, it was sold. You know all those phone systems when you...
Dude, that was an OS, man. That was like Windows.
It was IBM...
It was like NT4. It was, and it's still mostly used as print servers, as I understand. I actually worked on one as a print server once.
IBM
about 6 or 7 years ago. Sorry.
IBM and Microsoft briefly collaborated on Windows NT, and then IBM went off and developed OS 2 to replace that once they kind of left Microsoft or didn't have fun with Microsoft anymore. And so the way I saw it in its implementations, and this was even when I thought it was kind of in its twilight years as it was, but the original phone systems that did the voice to, when you say a word on a phone and it turns into whatever, those originally started out as OS 2 systems. back in the day, and I still but when I say back in the day, but this was God,
A
this was
lot of things did. It was just Windows NT. I mean, it was just
the late
IBM's
90s and early
Windows NT.
2000s, in the early 2000s, but yeah, it's about 10, 15 years ago.
Okay. Well, John's answer was better. That it's just Windows
Uh,
NT.
yeah, it's just Windows NT before Microsoft was only doing Windows NT. It also it's so strikingly similar when I worked on it before. Like I wrote a batch file to do something with a service. You know, I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing.
It was completely object oriented, though. The operating system itself was object oriented, but it was.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was NT. It was Windows NT.
It had significant differences.
I don't think so. I don't really think so.
Yeah. Significant differences. No one used OS2.
That's true.
A lot of businesses did.
Proctor had a copy. Proctor had a copy of OS2.
I bought a copy of OS2 myself. I own a copy.
Oh, you didn't hack it off someone's Bitcoin?
No, I actually purchased it. I thought it was good enough. And I did install it, but unfortunately, because of the lack of software development, it was very difficult to continue to use it. You know, since I had to rely upon myself for writing new software for it.
Do you still have that copy?
Yeah, it was the was it the warp version? Let me see. What was?
You'd know if it was the warp.
Is it on this?
It's in the red box, I believe, at the time. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it was the original version 3. Yeah. So, it was version 3, but there is a newer. I think they got the version. Did they get the version 4?
There's plenty of newer versions.
Warp 4. Yeah, I didn't have. I had Warp 3. The 3.
Oh, they didn't do free upgrade paths.
The red spine version, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. What'd you say?
They didn't do free upgrade paths.
Good question. Maybe I just stopped using it at that point.
Install your OS2 copy and see if you can update it to OS4.
Oh God. This is an OS from pre-2000, from like 1994 or 6. Is when probably 94 is when I bought it, I think.
Well, go ahead and just format your main system and put that on it.
That might not be good. I don't even think it has driver support to allow it to be installed on the current system. But I mean, they didn't have SATA drives, didn't exist back then. There's a lot of technology. The only thing that the only type of slot that existed back then was the PCI.
Dude,
bus.
if you can't hack something together, I'm sure someone has.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, if I get the newer version of 4, if I get the newer version, the version 4.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, why haven't you bought that already?
It was released in '96. It was 2 years after the.
I know, that's been a long time. It's about time. Come on.
It's using some ATMs, apparently. And apparently, apparently they upgraded from OS2 to Windows XP on those ATMs that used it. That was the huge upgrade.
Because we were walking down nostalgia lane.
Oh, apparently because it has such few native viruses, it's considered to be very secure.
It's because it doesn't have any software that has vulnerabilities. to allow viruses to propagate. All right. Well, that was a good Thursday holiday special. Anyone else
Sure.
have some more nostalgia they want to talk about?
Not a damn thing.
Nah.
I'm coding here, man.
Awesome. Are you working on the uninstaller stuff or still the kill them all finishing touches?
Still the kill 'em all finishing touches. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, finally. Something good. That I've been working on this entire show.
Nice. So Aussie Glenn has some stuff talking about memory lane. He was viewing a discussion in a business forum. People complaining about Microsoft dropping support for IE8.
Oh, the good old days, yeah.
His thought is if you're in business and your production PCs are in WinXP, probably shouldn't be in business any longer. I added that last little bit, but he just had ellipses, so it felt like that's where that was going.
Yeah, yeah. I also want to point out that AMD just released this past week, I believe, or very recently, their what they're going to call their Crimson drivers. So this is their set of drivers that will be. They're doing major yearly driver updates, and so previously, I guess it was called. What was it called previous to that? Hyperforge was the name to it. What was it called?
If anyone didn't notice, Michael is just reading off Slashdot, so if you'd like to follow along with the bouncy ball,
No, I'm not.
over to Slashdot.
I'm reading from a Nantech article, but that they linked to, but
Slashdot.
what? Crap, where is it?
Horrible, man.
What was the one before? Omega. Yeah. So the 2015 one was Omega. The 2016 one is Crimson. It's got a new driver. It does apparently have some interesting sauce under the hood. Most of it kind of brings it up on par with some of the features that software features that NVIDIA's had for a little while, but I guess better late than never. Glenn
points out something else interesting, more interesting than what you're rambling on.
Yeah, Chrome support for XP dies next year, and that's probably related to the fact that they weren't going to support.
Quarter.
That also probably relates to the fact that they weren't going to support that certificate. That was the reason our site wasn't working under Chrome, under XP.
Because they don't support what?
That certificate that our site uses?
They don't support new certificates on XP.
Yeah.
Firefox does, though, so...
Yeah, Firefox does.
If you're still using XP, you'll still be able to use Firefox, apparently.
There's a Firefox version for OS 2 that works, by the way.
Let's see if LetsEncrypt.org is open to the general public yet.
Currently, upgrading your display driver while you're in a video chat is perfectly acceptable on Windows 10.
A chat.
Yep. LetsEncrypt is entering public beta on December 3rd. Now they say.
Let's get the show on the road.
They're in public beta. Or no, they're in private beta right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is it for today's holiday special. Thanks everyone for watching.
That's what you get for tuning in on a holiday show.
Next time
Need a-
we'll have live animals.
I need a beer.
All right, internet. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.